Welcome to Smart Money, brought to you by Daily Investor, South Africa's fastest growing investment publication. Today, we're joined by Chris Sickle. He's CEO at M&G Investments. Now, Chris grew up excelling in mathematics and accounting at school, and believe it or not, he wanted to become a chartered accountant from quite an early age. So he went on to study BCom accounting at the University of the Western Cape, completed an honours degree at the University of South Africa, and became a chartered accountant while doing his articles at Deloitte. He spent the next 20 years in the auditing profession, working closely with many of the country's leading asset managers. And in 2019, Chris joined M&G Investments as Chief Financial Officer to become CEO in 2021, just as the company rebranded from Prudential to M&G Investments. Chris, thanks so much for your time today. So, before we get into your first 18 months as CEO at M&G Investments, I'm intrigued not so much by the fact that you loved mathematics and accounting as a kid, but more so by the fact that you knew you wanted to become a chartered accountant at an early age. What enticed you about the field of finance?
Hi, Alishia. Thanks for having me. Yeah, you said it so eloquently, but it was a lot more simplistic than that. So I always wanted to be a carpenter. I love woodwork. I still today. And then I think in standard 7 or grade 9, as it is called today, I was sifting through the Sunday Times. I don't know if you can remember, you used to have this business section, and it had all these jobs, applications, etc. And I just saw the chartered accountant earns 10,000 rand a month. And I thought, wow, if I could earn 10,000 rand, it's a picket fence and I'm styling. And I said, okay, to couple that is I love accounting and I love math, so this must definitely be my career.
Okay, so there's three parts to the equation. It's a love for maths, a love for accounting, but a love for money as well. So, money and passion aside, Chris, would you say that there are specific qualities that helped you reach the top in this space?
Yeah, I think it's probably different for everyone. I mean, besides the sort of standard hard work, etc. I think it's tenacity.
Mm.
Tenacity has various forms. So coming up in sort of my sort of background, career, etc., you obviously have to look at barriers, and most people use barriers as an excuse. I typically look at the barrier and I say, "It's a challenge. It's something we need to get through. It's part of the course. It's the same for everyone. And you need to just challenge yourself, and you need to be tenacious. You need to be focused as what you want to do and where you want to be in life. I think that was key to me. And then tenacity also is ask questions. Don't be shy to ask what the people say is the stupid questions. I still ask questions today. If I don't know, I will ask the question. And it's important to learn from others. And then I think going through my career, I would say, Alicia, as I went further in my career, I think it's very important servicing clients. It's very important to be in service of. I think it's be here to service our clients and not to be served. And I think and I like building as well. So to not just settle for the status quo, but actually just to build on things, which is a lot more difficult to do. So yeah, and then I think overall, as you get older, I think it's fundamentally important that you have a very good support network and family. I think when I took on the role as CEO, I said to my wife and young kids, this is going to be tough. It's not a 9 to 5. So I think that support is important. And lastly, you need to be happy with what you do. You need to love it. If your heart is not there, it's gonna be difficult to achieve.
Absolutely. Crystal, let's take a look at where you're sitting now, right? Because you took the reins at M&G Investments as the company rebranded, as I said at the top, from Prudential to M&G Investments. Is it essentially still the same company with a new lick of paint, or is M&G Investments different from the old Prudential?
Yeah, I like to think it's metallic paint you're using. But the company, essentially, we were always tied to M&G or Prudential. Historically, they started the company in the very beginning in the mid-90s. The short answer is yes. The long answer is that we still share the same investment philosophy. Our processes are exactly the same, but we're a global company now. So we manage money across the world, Cape Town being one of those centers. And I think what is important when you look at even globalization, you look at the South African investor market wants offshore exposure. it makes a lot of sense to be able to offer and harness global capabilities with a local understanding of your clients so that you can offer them a better solution.
Yeah. Where you say that, a lot of your pull gets directed towards building new, building on. You've now been at the helm for over a year. What's been your primary focus over this period so far?
Yeah, so in the very beginning, I think, as I said to you, servicing clients is important. I think in the first couple of months, the key thing for me was to meet as many of our clients as I could. Just to introduce myself. I don't think you can do that 6 years later. So I think it is important to meet your clients. I think it's important to understand from your clients how they see us. What they're expecting. Speak to the market as well. Put your ear to the ground to understand when you're formulating the strategy. Is it driven from the outside in or the inside out? And so that was one. The other one was actually formulating the strategy and also executing on it.
Yeah.
And then I think I was very fortunate as well that I've been in the business for over 2.5 years, so I knew the people already. If I came in as a new CEO, again, I think on the people side, the strategy to get to know people more intently would have been a lot different.
How hard is it, Chris, executing on that strategy given South Africa's current economic challenges and the impact it's having on South Africa's asset management industry? And I say, current economic challenges locally, but we're bombarded by global challenges as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think the industry today versus 10 years ago is very different. I think a good strategy should be able to account for episodic headwinds, but it also has to take into account variable change. So you need to often revisit your strategy to understand what is actually changing, how should we pivot or not, but that should be few and far between. From an industry perspective, globally, we've seen in the last 18 months, it's been tough globally, not just in South Africa, with our own challenge around load shedding, etc. But I think you've seen a spike in interest rates in countries that we were used to almost nearly nothing, like the US. And you also foreign exchange, which you be exposed to. So with that, I think the asset management industry also relies a lot on the local economy growing. Because when the economy grows, there's more jobs, there's more investable population, etc. So, and then what came in last year is an increase in the offshore allowance. So, now pension funds can now take 45% offshore. So you have this sort of non-growing sort of pool, and now a lot of it is also going offshore. So it's making it a lot more tougher, and you have the increased players in the market as well. But we're saying that there's always good opportunity in distressed markets. So it's good to have a strong investment process.
But to leverage effectively off those opportunities that do present themselves, nevertheless, Chris, I mean, what kind of shift have you seen in your asset management strategy, if any at all?
No, I think I was very fortunate that when I took on the role last year, we were busy formulating the strategy. We sort of expected quite a lot of globalization, a lot of demand for offshore. Hence the name, the reason we actually went with M&G. It's to be part of the global group. So now we can offer our clients and facilitate seamless offshore solutions.
So, within that context, what's your definition of success as CEO of M&G Investments, both personally and for the company?
Alishia, it's simple for me. I mean, I sit and I always say to myself, I'm a caretaker of a business. I'm not. I'm here to look after the business, build it, grow it for the next generation. So, as long as I can leave this business in a better place than I found it, I think that's success for me. For the company, it's what's on the tin. We're here to manage other people's money. We want to make sure that people retire with dignity, and we manage the investments. So if we can do more of that and increase the investable population of South Africa, if we can support in creating bigger business by creating more employment for people, that is a success as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's leave it there, Chris. Thanks so much for having joined us today. It was such a pleasure catching up with you.
Thank you.